Hey guys, it's Jan Sharte again, and I'm back again with another video. So, in today's video, I'm going to tell you about my week from hell. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you about the week that I decided to take a 5-day trip to LA and kind of forgot that I run multiple businesses, one of which being a boutique where items need to be shipped out. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you about some real life boutique struggles and how I managed to get through them. So if you're interested in this topic, stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing that happened to me, which was probably the biggest thing I'm going to say. Actually, no, they were all pretty big. So we're going to just start with the first one. So the first one was I decided to go to LA for 5 days. I was gone Monday through Friday. And at the same time, a few days prior, I decided that I was going to run a big, huge 50% off sale. So it was like 50% off all regular price items, and then all sale items were $5. So when I say the sales were ringing in, they were coming in. And I was in LA, and I don't have an assistant, I don't have a team, I just have a husband who would not have been any help to me whatsoever. So I had all these sales coming in and nobody to process them. So I had taken the time to write on my social media and everything that orders placed between this date and this date wouldn't ship out until the day that I got back. However, everybody doesn't follow me on social media. Some people find me through Google and things of that nature, and I had nothing on my website whatsoever that reflected me being on a vacation or me being gone for 5 days, or that they should expect a delay in their shipment. So needless to say, I had quite a good number of people reach out to me and say, that they placed the order on this date and now it's this date, and they're just wondering when they're going to get their package. And at first I was like, well, I put out there that, I'm going to be gone from this date to this date, and you should expect your shipment or your package to go out on this date. And then slowly it dawned on me that everybody does not follow me on social media. So the tip in all of this is to make sure that if you are going on a trip for any amount of time, that you communicate that well. As I thought about it more, I thought about different ways that I would have communicated that. So one of which being not only writing that in the captions of my post and everything, but I probably would have put it in the bio section of my Instagram to say that between this date and this date, they could expect shipment delays. Also putting a notification at the top of my website that reflected shipment delays and when they should expect their orders to be sent out. And also I probably would have sent out an email to my email subscriber list to let them know that if they place an order between X date and Y dates, that they would expect their shipment to go out on Z date. So that was the biggest issue that I had. There really wasn't a resolve because I was all the way on the other side of the country. So it was mostly just me communicating. I had to send a crap ton of emails and explain what the case was and everything. And being completely honest with you guys, I did have to issue a few refunds because it was my fault. Even though my return policy reflects that I don't do refunds, this was an instance where it was my mistake that this situation was occurring. So I had to issue a few refunds, and that sucked, but you gotta do what you gotta do as a business owner. So that was my first crappy thing that happened to me while I was on vacation. So stay tuned for the next one. Okay, so the second thing that happened to me while I was on my 5-day vacation was that as all of these orders were coming in, for some reason, my inventory was screwed up. And when I say screwed up, it was so screwed up. So this is what the issue was. Somehow, people were being allowed to order items from my site that were actually out of stock. So these items I did not have anymore, and people were buying them. They were giving me their money for this item, and the item was not available. So not only did I have these shipment delays happening, I also did not know that my website was allowing people to order items that were out of stock. So I didn't find that out until I got home. I was checking my order statuses and everything as they were coming in to see what people were ordering, but unless you remember, each piece and how many pieces you have of every single thing and how many you have sold of everything, you're not gonna know if that item still exists or not. So per my website, it looked like those items existed. However, when I got home, those items were nowhere to be found. So again, another instance of me having to communicate. So I did not wait for these people to reach out to me, So I reached out to as many of the people as I could. There were a few items that I knew were out of stock, so I reached out to them to let them know that the item was out of stock. Whenever possible, I recommended another item that I thought they might like and told them that that one was in stock, and I even offered a coupon that they could use towards the item, so they would essentially get a credit back for my mistake, but they would still get an item, so I didn't have to give them, a full refund. I also would recommend another size. I would let them know that I still had that particular item in, a medium or large or whatever other sizes were still available. And I asked them if they were interested in that. So instead of me just outright being like, we don't have this item in stock and I'm just gonna give you your money back, I was like, no, let me see what I can do to save the situation and still please them and still be able to ship something out to them and still be able to keep their money. So that works for some people. There were some people who were like, no big deal whatsoever, and we got it taken care of. Now, so those are the people that I was able to communicate with while I was on vacation. The people that I communicated with when I got back from vacation were kind of a different story. There were quite a few nice ones, but there were some that were just like, I could tell they were irritated, and that sucked. But again, it's all about owning up to your mistakes, apologizing, putting yourself in that person's shoes and trying to think about how you would like their situation to be resolved. So in most of the cases, the person ordered more than one item. So as I was shipping out the item that we did have in stock, I made sure that I put a note in their package that apologize, or I sent them a personal email to apologize about the inconvenience and my mistake. I offered coupon codes, I offered discounts, free shipping on your next order, all types of things, because I just want to keep everybody happy. And granted, you can't keep everybody happy. It's just not, it doesn't work that way. But as a business owner, you should do what you can, what's feasible, in order to keep your clientele happy. So that was my second screw up of my 5-day vacation. So moving on to the next one. All right, so my next issue that came up was I received my first missing package, or I didn't receive my first missing package. My first package went missing. So I shipped an order out via USPS. And so I live in Illinois. The package was being shipped to Texas. I shipped it first class mail instead of priority mail, because first class mail was cheaper because it was not a really heavy item. And with it going that particular distance, it was cheaper that way. So took longer, but it was cheaper on my part. However, the first thing that happened was that I shipped it out on March 1st and it didn't arrive to the person until like March 11th, or that was when I checked the tracking and it said it was delivered on March 11th. So it's like 10 days, that's crazy. Usually it takes like, I think 5 to 7 days for first class mail, but okay. So she had reached out to me, the customer, to see about her order because she hadn't received it. And she had actually placed 2 orders with me. Like she placed the second one a few days later, and she received the second one before she received the first one. So it's like, wow, that's strange. So I, of course, checked the tracking. It said that it was shipped and delivered. So I sent that number again to the customer. I communicated with her that per USPS's database, it said that the item had been delivered to mailbox at da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, so I didn't just leave it at that, obviously. I told her, sometimes USPS marks things as delivered before it has actually been delivered. That's happened to me, so I know it's true. And I've read a lot of instances about that happening to people. So I told her that I asked her to please contact me the next day if she still had not received the order. So the next day rolls around, she has not received the order. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? this is like the first time that a package has went missing. So my head was everywhere. I was like, the package, the mail handler then took my package. The package ripped open and maybe the items are just dispersed everywhere. I don't know. I had all types of thoughts and I didn't know what to do. So I went to Google, of course. So Google told me I needed to file a claim. So my first mistake was that I shipped this particular item first class mail. So when you ship first class, your package does not come with insurance. So when you ship priority mail, your package I think is insured like up to $50 or something like that. But when you ship first class mail, that is not the case. So if that particular package had not been found or anything or whatever the case may be, I would have just been out of luck because I didn't have any insurance. So that was my first lesson in not shipping first class unless it's like, if it's like local, I'll probably still ship first class. But if I'm shipping across the country, I ain't shipping first class no more. So I had to file a claim. So when you file a claim, you do it through USPS's website. You have to put, you know, the tracking number, the address where the item is supposed to be delivered to. You have to put a description of each item in that package, describe it. You can even attach a picture of what the item looks like, and then you submit it to USPS, and then they basically start investigating it, and they let you know what happens. So right now, I think it's been maybe 5 days or so since I filed that claim. I have not heard anything. However, yesterday, I got an email from the customer saying that she received it. So that's been solved. However, I still haven't heard anything from USPS. So I don't know what caused the package to be delayed in being delivered, why it was marked delivered and it wasn't delivered until I think almost a week later, which is crazy. I don't know what's up with that. However, that was my first instance of a package going missing, and I would just say you need to stay calm, make sure you file a claim. I recommend shipping priority mail because that first class situation was, whew, I was scared for a second there. But just make sure you communicate with your customers when there are issues and things like that because they want to feel like they're being taken care of. So make sure you keep the customer in mind first and foremost at the forefront of your brain, and always putting yourself in their shoes and thinking about how you would want to be helped if you were in the person's shoes. All right, so my next issue. I know I got a lot of issues. All right, so my next issue was I received my first, I don't want to call it complaint, but basically, I shipped an item out to a customer. It was a dress, and she emailed me saying that the lining inside of it was ripped, and also she was wondering if she could just exchange it for the next size up. So it was a situation where I, for a moment, didn't really know what to do because per my return policy, all sales are final. There's no refunds, things of that nature. And I would think when you say no refunds, you also mean no exchanges, but my website didn't say no exchanges. So I was like, okay. But then I was thinking like, okay, the dress is now considered damaged in a way because the lining inside of it is ripped. The dress didn't have like a ton of stretch, but it had a little bit. So there was two different things that I could have, you know, believed in this instance. One, I could have believed that the item was shipped to her that way because I did not investigate it or inspect it prior to me shipping it out. Or it could be that she tried it on and in the process of trying it on, she ripped the lining. And since she was asking for the next size up anyway, it was like, I don't know. So since this was my first instance of this happening, I just chucked it up to the game and I was like, sure, why not? So initially I thought this lady was local. I don't know why. So I sent her an email and was like, you know, let me know if you want to meet up and we can exchange it or you can ship it back. And she was like, I'll ship it back. I was like, oh. So I looked and it turns out, I think she was in Texas too. I'm not sure. Anyway, so she was like, she'll ship it back. So then it became a case of like, how do we handle the shipping? You know, her shipping it back and then me shipping her the new one. Obviously, there were going to be additional costs here on top of the already paid for shipping from the first initial shipment. So what I decided was that I would give her the option of paying for the shipping to send it back to me or paying for the shipping for me to ship her the new one out. So The options were basically that I would handle one shipment one way and she would handle one shipment the other way. And she agreed. So she agreed to pay for the shipping to return it to me, and I'm gonna pay for the shipping to send it back. If she had chosen, no, I was gonna say if she had chosen, no, never mind. So yeah, we decided that both of us would handle the shipping one way, either coming or going. In the future, I don't know if I will do exchanges, just because it's a hassle, it's an additional cost. And I will say again, in this instance, I feel like it was my fault because I did not inspect the item before I shipped it out. So if the case was that the lining was ripped prior to me shipping it out, that's my fault. I should have known that. So although I don't want to pay for shipping, I was willing to do that because I should have inspected the item before I shipped it out to her in the first place. However, now I'm gonna get this dress back and there's a torn lining. So now I gotta decide what I'm gonna do with that particular dress. So I'm thinking either I'm going to discount it or I'm going to have my grandma, who is a great seamstress, fix it up so I can sell it again. I wanna say that particular dress is on sale on my website now anyway. So I don't know. As I've been receiving inventory, I won't say a lot of items, but a fair amount of items I receive have some type of damage or defect, and those particular items I usually keep just because I don't want to send out a product that is not perfect or in great condition, that looks like it has not been used. So I've been keeping those items, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, to be completely honest with you. So I'm thinking maybe on my next, whenever I do my next pop-up shop, I'll probably bring those with me and just set them up in like a bin or something like that and say that these items have small defects and sell them for like one base price, just to see if I could move them. In my retail experience, we would basically set up racks of items that were damaged, or they were like the last ones and things like that. So I definitely don't want to hold on to this merchandise. So whenever I have my next pop-up shop, I'll see if I can sell it. If I can't, then I'll probably just donate it. It is what it is. After so long, it's like, why even bother trying to figure out a solution? It's wasted time. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I think that might be all my issues. Let me think about it. Oh, with the inventory thing, my screwed up inventory. So obviously when I got home, I counted my inventory. I literally sat on the floor and counted it by hand to make sure that it was accurate. And I pray that that never happens again. I don't even know why it happened in the first place or how it happened, but I pray it never happens again. So little tip, count your inventory regularly. And check to make sure that the numbers on your website are the same as the number that you counted, because you don't want to have the issues that I had. It was quite the headache. But yeah, so this is my little video telling you guys my little issues I had while I was on my 5-day vacation in LA, chillaxing. I thought I was going to chillax, but I did quite a good amount of work. I got to visit Fashion Go's office, which was really nice, and I went to the beach, I went to the fashion district. I made the video for Half Heart. If you haven't watched that yet, make sure you check that out. But yeah, so I have another vacation planned for April. We're gonna see how that goes. Yeah, so that's the end of this video, guys. Count your inventory. Plan accordingly when you are taking vacations. Communicate with your customers in every way possible. Social media, email, website, all that. But expect people to be upset. It's just what it is. Expect there to be issues, and just know you got to handle it like a boss. You got to handle it like this is nothing to you. Don't let them see you sweat. That's it. Don't let them see you sweat. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout for more videos to come. I have lots of great things in store for this year. Lots of interviews and how-to videos and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't know, but somebody else could teach you. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.